You're the one who let me mix this hot-blooded combination of chemicals without proper supervision. You fix it.
Mr. Jackson, do you want to pass or not? You make the call.
You didn't call me.
That was one of Veronica's mothers mad at Mr. Queering.
You didn't call me on my daughter's poor performance in chemistry.
Your daughter's not my class, and you don't have a cell phone.
As it turns out, they are their own undoing. Bethany wanted to go play with the chemicals. She didn't have a chemistry set at home and felt deprived. You don't have a home, I reminded her.
If you're going to crit a girl, you should at least crit proper accessories. Makeup, bangles, fashion magazines. Oh, and along with that, I want a new entourage. These girls are much too pretty to be seen with me. And along with that, I want a chemistry set. I'm much more than just a pretty face, although I don't need to be.
She began to mix acids, gases, powders, and bases with no rhyme, reason, or safety glasses. But she left out a very important ingredient. She left out heart.
But where am I going to get that in a chemistry lab?
Looks and personality are great, but without heart, existence is futile. Suddenly, a large cloud formed over my head. I'm pretty sure it was a cloud of Mr. Jackson's gonna flunk, but I wasn't sure. It began to swirl. All the girls, mothers, older brother, and younger siblings began to dissolve into one giant orb, which got smaller and smaller and smaller, and finally laid itself to rest in the beaker next to the sink. The beaker imploded, and with it, my great scientific breakthrough went the way of the Austrian Empire in 1918. It was very quiet. I took out my paper containing the formula and lit it aflame with the gas burner. I knew for one thing, if I were ever to have a girlfriend, I was going to call her every 20 minutes. I waited patiently for Mr. Queering to write my A in the grade book. But he didn't.
You didn't solve the problem. You created a potential prom nightmare and let Bethany solve it.
So essentially, the problem solved itself. With that, we could be so lucky with world peace.
With that we could, but you destroyed that chance when you let Bethany turn herself into a noxious gas.
Are you married?
What's that to do with anything?
Just answer the question.
No, why?
I held some chemicals honestly over a beaker. Do you want to be? I hated to resort to blackmail, but I did get my A. And I still don't have a prom date yet, but at the next lab session, I heard this voice, meek but angry from the bottom of the beaker.
You haven't called me.
Having ever considered how big of a role shoes play in our culture, consider all the hits songs they've inspired. Blue suede shoes, goody two-shoes, and these boots were made for walking, just to name a few. Then there was that guy named Lion Sullivan, who portrayed a shoe-obsessed girl named Kelly in his online video Shoes, and won his People's Choice Award and became a YouTube legend because of it. Every woman in America envies the girls of Sex and the City because of their amazing shoe collection. And what about Judy Garland's bright red shoes in The Wizard of Oz? She may have been worried about lions, tigers, and bears, but she should have been more concerned about the bunions, blisters, and corns her magic red slippers probably caused her. You see, even though those stilettos we girls like to wear add those extra few inches to our height, they can be very damaging to our health. Unsensible shoes are causing women, young and old, unneeded pain and suffering, and I believe this should change. In the next few minutes, I will first teach you the history of the unsensible shoe, inform you the reasons why women wear these unsensible shoes, the effects that come from wearing them, and finally, alternatives to our favorite pair of heels. Look back in history, and you can tell that the high heel won't suddenly disappear from the fashionable woman's dress code. They actually go back thousands of years. A tomb uncovered by archaeologists in the ancient city of Thebes actually contained platform shoes with 12-inch heels. Venetian authorities banned the heels that many of the aristocratic women wore in 15th century Italy because they proved to be so dangerous. Their heels averaged 18 inches tall, but were sometimes as tall as 30 inches. That's 2.5 feet. And of course, We have all heard of the Chinese foot binding, which has left thousands of women crippled. Even now, in the 21st century, our heels can prove to be life-threatening. In Osaka, Japan, women are literally dying to wear their favorite pair of unsensible shoes. These shoes, called Atsuzuko shoes, are thick-soled boots with heels so high that you literally have to climb into them. Police ban these heels for use during driving because of the effect that they have on a person's reaction time. Drivers wearing these, Atsuzuko boots, needed at least a second more to apply the brakes than drivers wearing normal shoes. Numerous injuries and even 2 deaths have been attributed to the wearing of these shoes. So, why do we even wear them? This is an age-old question that the men in our lives have been asking us for years. Well, a study conducted by Porter and Novelli for Dr. Scholes and the American Podiatric Medical Association may hold the answer to this question. In a telephone survey of 1,001 women aged 18 and older, 47% of the women said that they wear their heels to make their legs look slimmer, 43% to appear taller, and 40% to look good for the men in their lives. But 72% of the women agreed, and I quote, that they cause more pain than other shoes. Yet 42% of the women said that they'll wear their heels anyway. Men are guilty too. While you don't see as many men wearing hot pink stilettos, you do see them wearing platform shoes. Men with the so-called small man complex wear them to better their self-image by making them appear taller. Sylvester Stallone actually wore them for his role of Rocky. I mean, he wouldn't have made a very convincing heavyweight champ and only 5 foot 7 inches tall without them. Despite our stubbornness, our heels are actually causing us major health problems. These problems can range from a simple blister to the more serious condition of arthritis of the foot. That study, conducted by Porter and Novelli, also found that 42% of the women said that they got blisters from their high heels. 39% reported pain in the balls of their feet. 23% got corns and calluses, and 22% experienced back pain. Other problems that our pumps can inflict upon us are bunions and even ingrown toenails. But some of our pain we inflict upon ourselves. Many women are opting to have surgical procedures performed on them, just to make wearing their favorite pair of unsensible shoes more comfortable. According to Glasgow-based cosmetic surgery nurse Catherine Knowles, some women are having Botox injected into their toes to straighten them out, or fillers injected to cushion their soles. Other women are having liposuction and have the fat sucked out of their lower calves and ankles to correct their shapeless cankles, which, according to UrbanDictionary.com, is a condition of having no discernible narrowing of the ankle between the calf and the foot. And, in the most severe cases, women are opting to have their pinky toes removed, just to make wearing their favorite pair of unsensible shoes more comfortable. So, what do we do? I mean, I don't want to give up wearing my high heels, even though they sometimes inflame the injury that I have suffered in my ankle. But don't panic, girls. There are other options, other than only having 8 toes. In fact, Carolyn Reed from the chiropodist Happy Soles says that high heels are okay in moderation. In other words, keep a pair of tennis shoes in your car to change into as soon as you're able. And perhaps a simple step to happier tootsies is buying a pair of well-fitting shoes. Dr. Judith Baumhauer, a spokesperson for the American Orthopedic Foot and Ankle Society and an orthopedic surgeon specializing in foot and ankle care, has some simple shopping tips for finding smarter shoes. These include finding shoes with shock-absorbing soles, buying shoes that your heels fit snugly into the back, and, most importantly, shop at the end of the day when your feet have expanded. And, unfortunately, we have to remember that sometimes the extra money we have to pay sometimes means a better quality shoe in the end. Our feet are amazing. I mean, just think about it. Each foot has 26 bones, which, when we are walking, must support 1.5 times our body weight. And we walk about 1,000 miles per year. Yet we abuse our feet and are surprised when they rebel against us. And why do they rebel? Because of our unsensible shoes that go back thousands of years, and for which we have thousands of excuses for why we wear them, despite the negative effect that they have on our health, and despite the fact that we have alternatives to those shoes buried deep in the back of our closet, yet are too stubborn to wear them. Well, I am putting my foot down, pardon the pun, and saying no more. No more shoving our feet into shoes that we know are way too small for us. No more treating our feet like they're the enemy, when they are actually our best friends. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to go put my feet up, because these shoes are killing me.
A gypsy from Versailles had read Talitha's palm and made a prediction that she would not live past her 60th birthday. When it came time for her to make her final arrangements and to buy her coffin, she insisted that her grandchildren accompany her. The Prince of Tides by Pat Conroy. The undertaker, Winthrop Ogletree, was sitting in the foyer of his Victorian house, where he practiced the trade.
All right, I'll get right to the point. Soon after my 60th birthday, I'll die. And I don't want to be a burden on my family. I want to buy the cheapest coffin you have in this boneyard. And I don't want no pressuring salesmanship trying to get me to buy some $1 million box.
Oh, Talitha, Talitha, Talitha. It would never occur to me to pressure anyone into anything. I am here only to answer questions and to be of service. But, Talitha, I had no idea you were ill. You look as though you could live to be 1,000.
I can't imagine a worse fate. Is that Johnny Grinley?
Yes, he passed away this morning.
You work fast.
I do my best. He lived a good Christian life, and it is a privilege to give him a dignified send-off.
Johnny was the meanest son of a gun who ever wore shoelaces.
He looks as though he just drifted off into a nap, doesn't he?
Nah, he looks as dead as a stump.
On the contrary, Talitha, he looks as though he could rise up and whistle a John Philip Sousa march. Notice the animation of the face, the slight hint of a smile. You have no idea how difficult it is to put a smile on a toe-fungus victim's face. I mean, anyone can put a fake smile on a corpse, but it takes a true artist to make it seem natural.
I don't want no grin when I kick Winthrop. You better write that down. I don't want to be grinning like some cheesy cat while people are peeking over the side looking at me. Oh, and I'd like to use my own makeup. None of that cheap stuff you use.
I use the finest cosmetics money can buy.
I want to be lovely in death.
I shall make you splendid.
All right, now show me where you keep the models.
Oh, I have one that has you written all over it, Talitha. There's no reason to look any further. It's the only proper one for a woman of your stature in the community.
Where's the pine butts? I don't want to be a burden on my family.
Oh, that will not be a problem, Talitha. We have a generous time payment plan. You pay a few dollars a month, and by the time you go for your final reward, your family does not owe a cent.
How much is this model?
It usually goes around $2,000, but because you're a friend of the family, I'll let it go for $800.60 plus tax.
I'll think about it. Now leave so I can discuss this with my grandchildren. It seems to me an important decision that I should discuss with them privately.
Oh, yes, of course. I was going to suggest it myself. I'll be downstairs in my office. Just drop by on your way out. And if you don't find anything you like here, I have a mail-in catalog that has all the final resting places made in the United States.
What's the cheapest thing you have on the floor here?
Well, this pitiful thing goes for around $200. But I could never allow a woman of your stature to be seen in such a thing. You wouldn't want to embarrass your family.